Governance Now has launched Reflect, a series of roundtable discussions on thematic issues in the area of e-governance. Every fortnight, we will invite a group of e-governance experts, practitioners and service providers to jam on the theme issue of our governance section. This, we hope, will enrich the contents by adding a wide perspective to the issue on hand. The first Reflect Roundtable was organized at our office on March 23 around the topic Cloud Computing for Public Sector. At the high table were S. Ramasamy, Executive Director, Indian Oil Corporation; Golak Kumar Simli, Principal Consultant and Head Technology, Passport Seva Project, Ministry of External Affairs; Neeraj Prakash, Director, Public Sector Marketing, Microsoft India; Kamlakar Kaul, Executive Director, TCIL; Gautam Kapoor, Senior Manager, Deloitte India; Vikas Kanungo, Founder, Society for Promotion of E-Governance; and Rajiv Ranjan Singh, Assistant Professor, Delhi University. The roundtable was moderated by Sami Sachdeva, Senior Editor, Governance Now. The inaugural Reflect was sponsored by Microsoft. Let's hear from the experts what they have to say on cloud computing for the public sector.
Where I'm assuming that cloud is inevitable, and in different ways at different levels, government will move to the cloud. What will be the implication on the data management side is something that I just wanted to bring to the table. And what I mean, I'll just quickly clarify. See, in government, there could be different ways of implementing cloud. First is a private cloud. Let's say a Passport Seva goes in for a private cloud and does an implementation. Or, like electronic delivery of services, 5 states come together and, deliver on private cloud and interoperate on...
If I may interrupt you, I have one point that...
data management issues 5 years later, given current set of cloud implementation. So what are the possible ways? Private cloud is one thing that for sure we are going to see.
And government cloud will be another one.
Yeah, government cloud. So, that's a kind of a hybrid. The other is that whole Gov 2.0, okay, which is the public network and, emails, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, okay. The third is, the application exchange that we talked about, where, let's say it is mandatory for every state government to go to the store or the applications exchange and use at least 2 of those applications for their state. Let us say a policy like that. So application exchange, and then the open data, which is a framework which is already there in the US and a couple of other countries.
India also, I think next month, NIC is supposed to launch that portal.
Now these are to my mind, these are 4 different ways in which the execution of the cloud will happen. Now, if you look at details of each one of these, they have huge implications in terms of what it throws for what we call as big data. Okay, so that big data is going to be a very important issue, whether it is in terms of unstructured data coming up. I mean, if you look at Gov 2.0, what is it? It's absolutely unstructured data. Or it is in terms of interoperability. Let's say you are, doing a private cloud. We talked about legacy application and not easy. So interoperability, and then third is, drawing out information. Till now we've been talking about, getting the transactional information in transactional systems. But when we want to do decision making on the basis of what is the transaction that has run, then the whole piece of intelligence. The point I'm making is that any form of implementation of cloud, next 5 years, the government is going to be faced with this issue of big data, and there has to be a mechanism or a discussion or a policy or a plan in terms of how are you going to look at the data management policies from an unstructured data point of view or interoperability point of view or an intelligence point. Most critical factor or the most significant factor that is going to impact the implementation of cloud services or lead to the success of electronic delivery of services bill execution is going to be cloud services. Because if you look at the electronic delivery of services bill and what it mandates for all government services arm and public authorities is to, over a period of 5 years, and every public service organization has anywhere between 100 to 200 services to be delivered. That mandate, to my mind, is not going to be achievable in the current fashion of looking at our service organization as a silo and developing a set of applications and then using it for my own purpose. I have to create repeatability. I have to create shareability. I have to create that as a
Collaboration.
common service center or a let me not confuse that with the CSC, but what I'm saying is that we have to look at that as a shared services model kind of a thing, and that's where cloud computing becomes very important. There are examples where states have started looking at sharing infrastructure and application for delivering citizen services. So that's one discussion I thought would be important, because that sets the path for the future of cloud computing. Do every pass of the same service implementation. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to have primary stake by government and a secondary stake by the vendors to come together, put a solution which is shareable.
Correct.
And therefore it is not left to every department to do that, because the capacity does not exist. And I would not even say capacity is there, but that's not the core job that they are hired for. And that's exactly the kind of problem that the cloud services can resolve. And I'll just take another 10 seconds is connecting with what Professor Rajiv was saying, is in terms of first fixing the 3-tier architecture and then moving on the cloud. I mean, my view is that from a technology point of view, you don't have to learn every step to move on to a higher level of technology. So there is a legacy system that is at a certain level of maturity. There is another technology which exists, which comes and which can interoperate with your legacy system, and you can run with that. The point here is that now with cloud services, what you're trying to do is you're only trying to bring in the user element within the departments and leave the rest of the complexity to the implementation.
Just to correct myself, I'm